Hi everyone, myself Gracie. Our module name is International Leadership. Here my team members are Najla, Danya, and Ninjida. Here we are talking about the leaders, the great leaders, great leaders, Ratan Tata and the Stephen Jobs. And we are explaining about the brief of the leaders and the leadership approaches, modules of the theories that used to support the leader style. Here we can look into the introduction part. The primary objective of the presentation is a critical analysis and the axis of the leadership philosophies exposed by the Ratan Tata and Steve Jobs. This presentation employs a range of leadership strategies to access the effective management of both these leaders. And this presentation also offers the consequence, the introduction of Ratan Tata, his leadership style, and the two prominent leadership philosophies. This study will be additionally examine the leadership style of Steve Jobs and using the comparative technique. This analysis identifies the common attributes of the leadership exhibited by each leader. This presentation excludes the primary concepts of pertaining to the leaders of Steve Jobs and Ratan Tata. Can move to the next slide. Here we can see the Ratan Tata, the former chairman of the Tata Group. Early life and the background born on the Ratan Tata, born in Bombay, British India on December 28, 1937. Ratan Navel Tata has raised. It will be well known that the Tata family from whom he comes was instrumental in India's industrial development. We can look into next slide. Here we can see the biography and the notable achievements of Ratan Tata. Ratan Tata began his illustration career in Tata Group when he joined in organization 1962. In 1991, the Tata holding company Tata Sons appointed him as chairman. And the Ratan Tata has gained significant recognition for his Philipponic as pursuits and notable for his involvement in the launch of the Tata Nano. His groundbreaking innovative aim to provide millions of individuals with the affordable means of mobility since it's the Portionite has the most economical accessible automobile global at its time. We can look into the next slide. Next slide explains the leadership approach and the transformational leaderships. Here they facilitate the cultivation of creativity and innovation, challenging status up in order to the foster organizational transformation. Transformational leaders actively promote the advancement of the both individuals and groups, so facilitate the growth and the development of the team members. Effective communication and emotional intelligence were utilized by the organization to develop the positive company culture and foster shared objective. Then we can look into the next slide. Here we can see the leadership approach and the servant leaderships. Regnant commitment to the physiologic and philanthropic endeavors such as the Tata Nano project examples his unwavering passion of advancing the societal well-being and experting the positive impact. The individual in question facilitate the professional in question facilitate the professional and personal advancement of these team members through the establishment of growth oriented and the developmental culture within Tata Group. As they work, they recognize the address and particular needs and concerns of each team member, empathy in critical elements, serving the leaders, enable the group of providing them with the freedom and accountability to advance and measure. They frequently promote the cooperative, welcoming atmosphere where each person's opinion is respected. Next slide will explain by my colleague Najla. Welcome, Najla.
Thank you, Gracie. Hi, everyone. My name is Najla Faisa Ahmad. Today, I am going to present the continuation of how Ratan Tata exemplifies the strategies. Ratan Tata is a passionate about improving the social well-being and making good influences. This is demonstrated by his dedication to charitable projects like the Tata Nano Initiative and by establishing as a growth-oriented and developing cultures within the Tata Group. And developing culture with the Tata Group is a enforcement and individual enable the team members of the flourish both personality and professionalities. His leadership style reflected the humanity, the need of employee and society before the pursuing profit. He consistent the prayers to the well-being, the team and community with each Tata Group worked. And then Tata is the Tata Nano project, which is attempt to give everyone access to inexpensive, transpersonal, and enhance the quality of light and demonstrate his sensitive. Then we have to go to next slide. It will explain the applications of the applications and critique. How the Ratan Tata style is benefited by the transformation leadership. This slide will be explained as they work to recognize and address the particular needs and concern of each team member. That especially the empathy is a crucial element serving leaders. Enable to the group by providing the team with the freedom and accountability to advance and nature. They frequently promote a cooperative, welcoming atmosphere where each person's opinion is respected. The Ratan leadership style is a transformational leadership are a good fit. And his charisma and capacity is a inspire confidentially and him to take a important accusation. Further, the Tata motto say accusation is a growth and influence of the Tata Group. Other, it may be said that Tata Group is a typically conservative, complicated, and found to difficult to enhance. The emphasis of innovation and creativity. Then we have to move to the next slide. It will explain, give a critical assessment of these strategies. He gave the Tata Group leaders more freedom and accountability, super innovation, and expansion. The company now enjoy a cultural mutual respect and trust because of Ratan Tata's inclusive and cooperative leadership styles. The Ratan Tata application transformation is leadership made times trained and conservative approach to culture. It is the Tata Group. And the emphasis the chairman and vision may not always align with the needs every organization. Next, we have to go to the next slide. He was the key contributor of the creation of groundbreaking devices that transformed how we use technology, including the Macintosh, iPod, iPhone, and iPad. A constant quest of perfection, a strong emphasis on design and focus on the developing goods and appeal to customers were the characterize the Jobs' leadership styles. In 1976, Jobs and Steve Wozniak is co-founded Apple and he was born in Francisco, California on February 24, 1955. And he was a co-founder and the CEO of Apple. He is praised for his contribution of a consumer electronics inventiveness and attractive design. Then we have moved to the next slide. It is the biography. Early life and background and career achievements. His mainly notable achievements are Stephen Jobs was visionary and prioritized the design and user experience. He was crucial in the development of the iPad, which evolutioned the tablet market, and they created new avenues for the content creations and conceptions. His leadership resulted in the birth of iPhones, which revolutionized the smartphone sector and alerted where the interact. Jobs renewed the dedication to innovation and think a different ideology, which is pushed the boundaries and conventional wisdom and promoted and creations. His creativity energy continues the affect contemporary in the technology and designs, and he has had a incalculable impact on the tech industry popular culture. In 1976, Stephen Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne co-founded Apple Computer. And the business was generally changed in 1984 when the Apple unveiled in the Macintosh. And Jobs in the development of a well-known products like iMac, iPod, and iPhone. an iPad after leaving the company in 1985, and he is later returned to Apple 1996. And the world's most valuable and significant tech firms. And moving to the next slide, it will explain my colleague Danya. I will invite to Danya.
Thank you, Najla. You explained very well. Hi, my name is Danya Krishnamma Siddharthan. Now I am going to explain about the leadership approach, situational leadership. Introduction. The idea behind situational leadership is that there isn't one leadership style that works for everyone. Rather, leaders have to modify their strategy according to followers' readiness and developmental stages. Key concept. This approach contends that leadership is dynamic and that leaders must modify their approach based on the circumstances and skill their team. That is, four leadership philosophies are identified under the model: delegating, coaching, directing, and supporting. Taking into the account the team's levels of readiness, leaders choose the best approach. A team's willingness and capacity to do tasks are taken into consideration when evaluating their level of readiness. It is imperative of leaders to align their style of leadership with the readiness level of their team. In the next slide, I will continue about how Stephen Jobs exhibits this approach. Although Stephen Jobs primarily recognized for his directive leadership style, it is important to note that this approach to leadership also encompassed elements of situational leadership. The individual gained recognition for their meticulous, meticulous focus on intricate aspects during the development of novel merchandise. The user's text does not contain any information of rewrite an academic manner during critical phases of product development, like as the introduction of iPhone. Jobs exhibit monitoring and supportive approach. In order to ensure the success of his team, he provided with the guidance and motivation. That is, however, he gained a reputation of his stagnant standards of excellence, which may be perceived as more authentic, authoritative approach. Especially, it came to the introduction of new products. One crucial development of Apple's triumph was the adaptability exhibited by Jobs in modifying his leadership style in response to the exigencies of the situation and the team stage advancement. The next slide is leadership approach, authentic leadership. Introduction. The primary emphasis of his approach lies in the genuine and transparent behaviors exhibited by the leader. It involves the commitment to ethical decision making, interpersonal integrity, and introspection. Next, key concept. Authentic leaders possess of self-awareness and exhibit mindfulness towards their emotions, attitudes, and beliefs. Their behavior aligns with the identity and personal convictions. The next slide, I will continue how Stephen Jobs embodies his strategy. His genuine was defining characteristics of Stephen Jobs' leadership style. He gained notoriety for his unflinching commitments to his ideals and passions with which pursued his goals. His reputation rested on his ability to present tough materials in a clear and honest manner. Because of his integrity, he was able to gain the trust of his employees and customers. That is, a sign of Jobs' real leadership was his dedication to developing things that consumers actually found the meaningful. His motivation came from his own beliefs and the desire to use invention change the world. Although his style of leadership sometimes came out as strict, it sprang from his sincerity and steadfast dedication to his goal. Next slide, I will explain about the application and critique. How Stephen Jobs' style is benefited by situational leadership. Situational leadership places a strong emphasis on the necessity for leaders to modify their strategy in response to their team members' level of readiness. Though Stephen Jobs was generally perceived as a strict and commanding leader, there were times when he demonstrated a coaching and encouraging manner. During the pivotal stages of product developments like the introduction of iPhone, Jobs demonstrated coaching and encouragement, directing and inspiring his team to realize their maximum capabilities. Nevertheless, Nonetheless, it's critical to recognize that his directive approach, characterized by high standards and painstaking attention to detail, was more prevalent and may have had a major impact on Apple's success. That is, Ratan Tata's style is benefited by the servant leadership. Ratan Tata's strategy is consistent with several leadership emphasis on empathy and putting team members' needs first. Ratan Tata's humility and willingness to serve the needs of his employees and societies at large has helped build a strong organizational culture and goodwill in the community. His commitment in philanthropy, including Tata Nano Project, demonstrated a clear dedication to improving the quality of life for the broader community. In the next slide, my friend Ninjida will explain. Ninjida, please explain next slide.
Hi, myself Ninjida Tangarajan Kavadarani. Here I am going to discuss about the continuation of application and critical assessment of these strategies. Despite the fact that the theory of situational leadership provides a framework for adapting one's leadership style to the preparedness of one's team, Stephen Jobs' style of leadership was often authorization and demanding for those who struggle under pressure. This may be seen as a negative aspect, while Jobs' approaches is consistent with the authentic leadership principles of self-awareness and transparency. It's important to remember that even he had his shares of challenges with his technique of leadership. His high standards and demanding nature may be detrimental to employee satisfaction and productivity. On to following slide. Common leadership traits. Ratan, despite coming from different backgrounds and sectors, Tata and Stephen Jobs have a number of similar leadership qualities. Resilience, despite experiencing major setbacks in their careers, Jobs and Tata both showed incredible fortitude in rising above their losses. Innovation, they were pioneers in their own right. Steve Jobs transformed the technology industries with the innovation of the iPhone, iPad, and other notable devices, while Ratan Tata expanded the Tata Group into new industries. Next slide. How important these characteristics are in the corporate world. Leaders that possess resilience are able to adjust to shifting conditions, grow from setbacks, and continue onwards. Innovation propels business forwards, keeps them cutting edge in their particular fields, and keeps them relevant. Next slide, conclusion. Here I am going to concluding the topic. Organizational culture, innovation, and leaderships are all greatly influenced by leaderships. In addition to encouraging the development, good leadership has an impact on culture, moral, and society at large. Stephen Jobs and Ratan Tata are two great examples of various leadership styles that offers up and coming leaders a wealth of knowledge. The following slides contain references. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.